a baby goat in there, and it was trying its best to get out. So why wasn't it happening? In a kayak, I could judge a crisis in an instant and respond with certainty, but acting as a goat midwife was a blind leap off a very tall cliff. I closed my eyes and wished for magical powers. My cell phone was in my back pocket, and at this time of day, Landon was probably at home taking care of his own herd of goats. He'd drop what he was doing if I called, and in 5 minutes he'd be here, full of encouragement, experience, and advice. He'd seen every sort of emergency there was, and I had no doubt he would know exactly what was wrong and exactly what I needed to do. Tempting, but I didn't reach for the phone. In the 3 years since Landon bought the acreage next to mine, we'd mended fences together, traded tools, laughed over many a cold beer at the end of many a long day. He not only understood my mortgage worries, he knew how to get rid of tomato hornworms and the best way to nurture baby chicks. He answered my endless questions with patience, and relying on his knowledge had become second nature. But he had ruined that easy camaraderie a month before when he'd asked for far more than I could give. My no had stunned him, and I hadn't seen him since. There was no way I could call him now for help. A car came to a stop on the paved road out front, hidden by the shrubbery along the front fence. Not Landon, I knew the clatter of his ancient truck, but perhaps my wishful thinking had worked and someone had swooped in to help. They didn't turn into the drive. Instead, a car door slammed, and the car sped off at once. Not a rescue after all. Probably someone pitching garbage or getting rid of a litter of kittens. I'd have to check once things calmed down. But then footsteps crunched toward me on the driveway. Unexpected visitors were rare out here, particularly someone who was simply dropped off roadside. I peered in that direction, but Thistle chose that moment to scramble, her legs flailing, trying to stand. She couldn't get any traction, but she did manage to coat me with another layer of muck. Easy, girl, calm down. If she kept thrashing like that, there was no way I'd save her and her baby. Hello? Are you Bryn? Bryn Collins? The voice came from the driveway. A boy's voice, one that cracked as he choked out the question. I glanced his way long enough to see a gangly form silhouetted against the low sun. I kept looking for an adult, but he was apparently alone. What in the world was he doing here? But explanations had to wait. Yeah, I'm Bryn. Hey, give me a hand, would you? If you can hold this goat still, I can maybe get this kid out. What? His incredulous tone made it sound like I'd suggested a leap to the moon. But he took a few hesitant steps closer, moving toward the wire electric fence. Not that way, you'll get shocked. The gate's in the corner there. He headed in that direction. Thistle settled down, and I didn't have time to worry about the boy. I knelt behind my goat again, and this time slid my hand in farther in my attempt to figure out what was wrong. 2 legs. Okay, that was good. The book said there should be a head stretched forward to rest on those legs, creating a nice compact package for delivery. Maybe the head was twisted back somehow? Water from the bog was soaking through my jeans and t-shirt, a chilling damp, and a strand of hair escaped from my ponytail, stinging my eyes. I felt my way between the 2 legs, expecting them to lead to a chest, neck, and head, but my hand just kept sliding between them. I was elbow deep at this point and utterly confused. What the hell? Slow footsteps came closer, on this side of the fence now, the boy's shoes making wet sucking sounds in the mud. Tellico ran to greet him with a wagging tail, but I didn't even give him a decent look. Grab onto her halter, would you? Don't let her get up. You're kidding, right? He waited, as if he thought I was going to let him off the hook, but after a long moment, he came closer and hung a small backpack on a bush. He stood as far away as possible and grabbed the side strap of Thistle's halter. He was leaning so precariously I was afraid her slightest movement would cause him to tumble flat. Not much help, that was for sure, but at least he was trying. Thistle calmed a little despite his obvious nervousness. I tried to remember all the scary illustrations I'd seen in the goat manual. Head bent back? No, that wasn't it. Rear presentation?